What's going on, guys? It's your boy Steve. Welcome to my channel, Fantasy Studs. Now, in today's video, we're talking about Julio Jones and Odell Beckham Jr. Kind of a hyped comparison, I guess. Two very well talked about people, but we're comparing everybody, so we're comparing these two guys. So anyway, let's get right into it, guys. So Julio Jones, he had an off year last year, and by definition, off year for Julio Jones is still like the third best wide receiver in the NFL. The guy still went off. But compared to Julio Jones standards, he did kind of have an off season last year. I believe he only scored 3 touchdowns. Odell Beckham, he had a really off season last year because he was off pretty much all season with a serious ankle injury. So something to think about, coming off an injury. Now, and I think that's kind of the tail of the tape right now. We got Julio Jones, very consistent, just the guy is a truck. He's built like a freaking truck. OBJ, huge playmaker, flashes of just insanity, but he is injury prone, all right? So let's start off with Julio Jones. Let me pull up his stats right here for my sakes, just so I don't get nothing wrong. I don't want these Redditors to cut my nuts off. All right, guys. Julio Jones from 2013 to 2017, he has 25 touchdowns. Fun fact, Odell Beckham Jr. had 25 touchdowns in his first 2 seasons. So let's think about that. You're not really drafting Julio Jones for the touchdowns. The way the Atlanta Falcons play, they just spread the ball out way too much to really be able to rely on Julio Jones scoring touchdowns. He's a yards guy. And let's take a look at the yards. This guy has almost 7,000 yards in his career. And, I mean, you look at it, he had 1,600 yards, 1,900 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards. The guy goes off, and that translates directly to fantasy points. He also gets a lot of receptions. 2014 and 2015 are the only 2 years he had over 100 receptions. But, he still had 83 and 88 these past 2 years, both having above 1,400 yards. But, again, the downside of drafting Julio is you're not going to get a lot of touchdowns for him. Those last 2 years combined, he had 9 touchdowns. The last year that OBJ played, that was a full season, which was 2 years ago, he had 10 touchdowns. So when you're looking at Julio Jones, you're looking at consistency. Every single week, he's going to get you at least X amount of fantasy points. He delivers every week, all right? There's some weeks where he goes off, some weeks where he doesn't go off, like any fantasy player. But for the most part, you're drafting him for his receptions and, more importantly, his yards, because he's really good at that running after catching. Running after rack? Yeah, he's really good at picking up rack, all right? So that's where he really shines. Now let's take a look at OBJ. Where he gets his fantasy points, he gets a lot of yards. He had his first 3 seasons, his only 3 full seasons, 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, 91 receptions, 96 receptions, 101 receptions. As much as I love how humble and just good of a guy and good of a player Julio Jones is, guys, if OBJ is healthy, and that's like the big what if this season because he just had a disgusting ankle injury. If OBJ is healthy, guys, I'm drafting OBJ above Julio Jones. And I'm not the only one that thinks this. You look at fantasypros.com, you look at ESPN.com, you look at NFL.com, you look at CBS, you look at Yahoo, all the ratings have OBJ above him. Obviously, if he stays healthy. I just really like the direction of the New York Giants this year. Now with the addition of a solid tight end and now a solid running back, I mean, a lot of that pressure is going to be taken off of Julio Jones because you have to cover those guys. I mean, you have to account for those guys in the offense. Guys, I think the Giants are really being slept on this year. I know Saquon Barkley's not being slept on, but I feel like when you look at the Giants as a whole, I think the offense is really getting slept on. I think if you put the right guys around Eli Manning, and I know better than anyone. I'm a Patriots fan. I know I kind of say this in like all my videos, but I know better than everyone. If you put the right guys around Eli Manning, the guy's a goddamn stud. I mean, hate on him if you want. He might lead the leagues in interceptions one year and then beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl the next year. It is what it is. You got to have the right guys around you. So I'm not going to sleep on the Giants this year. And now that it's not just the OBJ show, I mean, really all the talk coming into training camp is about Saquon Barkley. So, and like I said, they have a solid tight end now who really proved himself last year. Guys, I'm going to have to go with OBJ in this situation. Again, I'm keeping this video quick. What do you guys think? If you had the chance to draft Julio or OBJ, if that was what was in line for you in one-year drafts, who are you taking, Julio or OBJ? I'd love to know in the comment section. If you agree or disagree, let me know. And again, if you guys aren't already subscribed, I would appreciate if you click that subscribe button, show your boys some love, and maybe check out some more videos on my channel, man. Later.